Well, we are at the ISU Congress in Tenerife, and I have the distinct pleasure of being able to talk to ISU President Jae Youl Kim. How are you?
Great. How are you? It's great to be with you, Jackie.
Thank you for your time. I mean, it's been busy. Tell me about Congress and how it's been the last few days.
Oh, it's been great. We got a lot of energy. We have a lot of commitment. And this Congress is special because this is the first Congress after we went through the reform of our Constitution and all the governing documents. So we used to have 5-day Congress. Now, for the first time, it's down to 3. And we also changed a lot of the format. So yesterday we had a lot of the outside presenters coming in, talk about the new technology, AI, for example. Today we had a forum with athletes, panel with athletes talking about the social media experience. So it's a different format. So far, I've heard a lot of energy and enthusiasm from the members, so I'm very excited.
Well, it's been great being here and being able to do this. I mean, you're inviting media for the first time to cover this. So, but first of all, congratulations on a very successful quad. I come from the figure skating side of things, so right. A lot of this has been looking at the sold out crowds and all of the things that have happened over the last 4 years. On that note, you're talking about doubling the prize money for athletes. How's that going to work? Technically, are you doubling the prize pool? Are you strictly doubling the prize money for the individual things? How does that work?
So we haven't worked out the exact detail, but let me start with this. The athletes are the heart and soul of sports, and we believe that we need to recognize the amount of work that the athletes put in to be at the world top class. That's why we are doubling the prize money. And we will double the total pot. At the moment, what we're trying to do is to have a certain percentage allocated to existing prize money and the other based on the world ranking. So up to this point, we are just giving the prize monies to the events. Not only the athletes on the podium, but to include a few skaters right below who just missed the podium. But we haven't really paid much attention to the world ranking. So what we want to do is allocate certain percentage of the prize money to the world ranking so that skaters who are not top 6, top 8 or on the podium, but consistently perform well and build up their world ranking can also get a benefit of the prize money. That's the basic logic, and we need to figure out with the new council, we have an election tomorrow, with the new council we'll figure out what percentage should go where.
Gotcha. I've talked to a number of skaters since yesterday, and a lot of them are very excited about that. Yes. Figure skating is expensive, and we often talk about athlete support, athlete funding. We heard a lot today about the development committee and what you all are doing there, and the amount of money that you're spending on developing junior skaters and so forth. How do you think about funding for athletes given that the sport is so expensive?
Well, so that's one of the reasons why we are doubling the prize money, and we hope, this is not the end, this is just the start. First of all, we've been going through this transformation journey in the last couple of years with the ambition to grow the sports, modernize the sports. We want to attract more fans. We want to inspire more young children to get into skating. That's our Vision 2030. And with that, we want to recognize the work of athletes. That's why we're doubling it. And I want to, for the record, this is not going to be the final destination. This is just the first milestone, and we want to grow the sport so we are able to continue to increase the prize money. We also decided to increase the funding support that we provided to the member federations because they support athletes. And the traveling is getting more expensive. So over the next 2 years, we will significantly increase, just a little below the doubling it, the travel subsidies that we provide to the members.
Gotcha.
And also development program is very important because that's the future. We want to invest in the future. Again, we want to help out and support and inspire younger kids to get into figure skating. And so we will continue to invest in the areas where we could support the development of the next generation of skaters.
Well, you talked about the growing fan base and attracting, you were talking about both the younger generation and also having a sustainable fan base, right? A fan base that can last for years. One of the things that happened after the Olympics were these big shows, Stars on Ice, Japan, Canada, US. The Olympic pairs champions now have a big show in Japan for the best pairs in the world, and it's sold out.
Yes.
Has the ISU ever discussed anything about support for kind of show skating or even professional skating?
We have thought about it. We have discussed about it. We haven't decided anything concrete. But what we believe in is any opportunity that we or anybody else that can provide to the athlete to skate, to engage with the fans, and also give the opportunities to the fans to watch skaters, the world top skaters, wherever they live. I mean, that's a great thing for the sports. Yeah. So we are fully supportive of any kind of skating.
Also on that note, the younger generations piece, what do you actually believe is going to bring in younger fans? That's been a thing for a number of years with figure skating, right? That we feel like the fan base is aging. We're not getting maybe the younger folks to come in. I think there have been. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on kind of that younger generation.
Well, that's the billion-dollar question that everybody is asking. Not every sport is asking, because when we are growing up, there aren't that many things to do. There weren't that many things to do. So you play sports, you watch sports. But nowadays, we are not competing not only with other sports, but with different forms of entertainment, social media, OTT. So how do we encourage our young children to get involved in the skate, in any kind of sport? That's a very important question for everybody, the whole society. And we will continue to look for the answer. That's why one of the reasons why we are engaged with the current athletes, to hear from them. What are their thoughts? How could we support them better so they can inspire the generations of fans? What we have today is that we are very fortunate. We have incredible skaters. I mean, the last Olympic was just amazing. And these successful skaters, they are inspiration. Every time they step on the ice, they inspire the whole world and the fans around the world. And the more skaters that we have, the more role models that we have, I believe that's one of the ways to inspire young people to get into our sports.
Mm-hmm. Part of this is also some of the changes that are coming to figure skating. You talked about the Grand Prix semifinals coming next season, the 2027-28 season. You talked about things that you're testing in 28 and beyond for the next Olympic cycle. Any things that you can share about what that sort of future might look like?
We are excited to introduce semifinals, Grand Prix semifinals starting from 27-28 season, because we want to, the fans want to see skaters. And we also want to give more opportunity for the skaters to skate. So having these two semifinals will give more opportunities to the skaters. We're excited about that. We also will look at how we can modernize our sports, make it easier to be understood by ordinary fans, casual fans who happen to just watch figure skating for the first time, to understand our rules easily so they can follow our sports. That's one of the ambitions that we have, and that's something that we'll work on. But having said that, any structural changes will not come shortly, because we believe that changing the rules significantly during the Olympic cycle is unfair for the skaters, because skaters need to understand. We don't want them target the moving target, right? So we want to have a set of rules for the one Olympic cycle, because a lot of the top athletes, they target their ambition, their dream is to be competing at the Olympics. We recognize that. So during the Olympic cycle, we are not going to do structural, drastic changes. So we will continue to discuss how we can modernize the sports, bring more innovation in the next Olympic cycles, ending in 2034. And we hope we can bring something, we can introduce something or come up with new ideas, and then we will test it at different low-level events, and then introduce it by 2028, so that skaters and the coaches, everybody involved in the skating could understand, if we decide to go forward, could understand what they have to do in the Olympic cycle starting after the 2030 Olympics.
And so how is athlete and other stakeholders, coaches, fans, those types of folks, how does that feedback come into play for those changes or those potential changes?
Well, so our technical committees, they are frequently engaged with the coaches, and we have an athletes committee elected by athletes themselves. So they serve as a conduit between the ISU and the athletes. So we hear the athletes' views through the athlete representative, and the technical committee engage with the coaches, choreographers, to understand and exchange ideas. That's how technical committee bring the proposal forward about the rule changes.
Based on the conversations I've had with skaters, they're very excited about both the Grand Prix semifinals, being able to potentially get there and have another shot, right? And also what people are starting to call big worlds, 2028, the combined world championships. The athletes have been really sort of unanimously, the ones I've talked to have been very excited about both. One thing that they were sort of hesitant about is the potential that this is going to lengthen the season. And given that they're trying to make money in the off season with shows, they want to have an off season to rest, right? How do you think about burnout? How do you think about not pushing the athlete schedule so much that they start, kind of overexerting themselves?
There are two things I want to say. First, we explored the idea. So we don't just make the decision without the feedback. We explored the idea of having the World Championship in April. And we thought about starting the Grand Prix much earlier because we are adding semis. Right? The reason behind that is we talked to the TVs, because we want to be on the free-to-air TV in prime time. And we don't always make it. Even World Championships sometimes don't make it. And we talked to the TV, look, we have amazing sports. We're the #1 sport in the Winter Olympics. Why aren't we on prime TV? And the answers that we're getting from especially the European ones, there's so many snow events in March. And we are competing with snow events, ski jump, alpine. We want to make sure that we are on the free-to-air TV because we want to showcase our incredible athletes to the TV viewers. And that's why, and the TVs, they said if we did it in April, we are not in direct competition with many other winter sports. Since we are indoor and we are not affected by the weather, whereas ski events are affected by the weather, so they have to finish by March. So by moving it by a few weeks, we are not in direct competition, so we will have a much better chance of being on the free-to-air TV in the prime time. That was the intention why we thought about it. And we shared our ideas through webinar. And we got the inputs from the members and athletes about the season is going to get too long. So we adjusted. We adjusted it, and I think we are slightly longer by a few weeks because we are adding the semis. But it's not going to be a huge difference because we understand athletes need time to rest, time to go on the show, time to prepare for the next season. So the point that I want to emphasize is that we don't just make the decision, we test the ideas, collect the inputs, and we listen. And that's how we work, and that's how we are continue to work.
And then on the TV front, I know this has been a big thing, and you talked about it day one yesterday on the music rights and how that has affected things. One of the things that's affected is the ability to replay figure skating, right? Like if you don't watch live, it becomes very hard for fans to then rewatch it. And like I was a guy who grew up as a teenager just watching skating over and over again, right? Because that's what got me into it. How do you think about, you know, especially after TV rights are over with the live stuff, right? Like how do you think about that in terms of being able to access it for the public?
So music rights is becoming increasingly important, and we fully understand. I mean, it's the issue that impacts our skaters directly, and also the whole skating community, including the fans. And that's something that we've been trying to solve in the last couple of years. We are engaged. We are talking to many stakeholders to find a solution, and we are making progress, and we hope to be able to deliver good news in a short period of time.
World Gymnastics has brought back Russia and Belarus in terms of the athletes. What's the ISU's stance on Belarus and Russia right now?
Okay, at the moment we have not made a decision. For the Milano Cortina Olympics, we were the first winter federations to allow AINs from Russia and Belarus to participate in the Olympics because we believe in giving the athletes the opportunity to compete at the Olympics, which comes only once every 4 years. For the future, we have not made a decision. We have an election tomorrow. The new council will be formed after tomorrow's election, and this is a topic that the new council will discuss.
Gotcha. Finally, hopes and dreams for the next 4 years. I know it's, you know, you've got a lot of big things that you're kind of contemplating and planning on doing. What are some of the big goals in your mind?
Oh, just continue to provide better experience for the athletes, but also to the fans. So event presentation, media production to excite the fans around the world, provide a better mood, better stage for our amazing athletes. That's one thing. And at the end goal, everything is the means to an end. End goal is to generate more revenue, so we can reward our athletes better, more, to more athletes, and be able to channel more investment fund to our development. That's the end goal. And everything else, TV production, better event presentation, those are the means to end. One thing that I'm really excited about is for the first time in 134-year history of the ISU, we are going to organize first ever ISU Combined World Championship in 2028. Figure skating, synchronized skating, speed skating, short track, same period, same city. So the fans can come in and just watch different types of skating. Athletes can be in the same city with the athletes from different disciplines. So it would just be one of the key events that we are excited about.
Well, looking forward to all of that. Well, President Kim, thank you so much for joining me, and hope you have a great rest of the time. Hope you get to enjoy the sun a little bit.
Thank you, Jackie.